What is happening, chums, and welcome back to another one of these little chat videos we seem to be doing quite a few of recently, Paul.
I think we're really desperate to start a podcast. Really desperate, but we have
We set ourselves a target.
a target of 1,000 subscribers. Once we hit that, then we'll look into podcasting and uploading stuff to Spotify and whatever else. But anyway, yeah.
So, a big thing
Big
happened.
Big news.
We're recording this on the Tuesday, the day after this happened, because obviously we have to try and sort of set time aside to chat about it and everything. This will be going up on a Wednesday, so this happened 2 days ago as of you're watching this. And we had just put up a video, a half-hour video, where we basically bitched about Final Fantasy 16 being a timed exclusive to PS5, and then Microsoft came out and dropped a fucking nuclear bomb.
That video, we should have renamed it Game and Chums Bitch about Final Fantasy 16 because it was meant to be about the showcase, but that subject was so
that was our main takeaway for both of us from that show.
Yeah, it's controversial. I didn't think enough YouTubers and outlets were sort of covering it.
I mean, no one really cared.
No one cared, but people care about this, Ross. People care about this.
Yes, but this one is bigger. To be fair,
this is massive.
What are we talking about? Obviously, we're talking about the fact that Microsoft have just acquired Bethesda, ZeniMax Media, the whole shebang, for $7.5 billion, which is eight studios.
8 studios, lots of IPs.
Yeah, it's lots of very big IPs. I mean, you're seeing Skyrim. You're seeing Skyrim in the background at the moment. That's like well over 30 million copies sold at this point.
Yeah, so Wolfenstein, Doom, Prey.
Yeah.
Dishonored.
Dishonored 2 being one of my games of the generation that nobody played, unfortunately. So hopefully, in a sense, this means that like Arcane can continue making their stuff that's kind of niche but amazing. But yeah,
it's huge.
I don't think there's been a bigger deal than this in the history of the games industry.
The timing of it came right before the pre-orders for Xbox.
Yeah, less than a day before pre-orders went live.
Yeah. So, and I heard the Game Pass subscription just doubled after that. It was
50% from April. So they announced 10 million in April, and they announced 15 million September. So 5 months, and they've basically added 50% again to it, which is huge. But yeah, I don't think there's nothing to compare this to.
No.
Like it's usually like the only thing really you could compare it to is Microsoft's own E3 2018, where they announced 5 new studios. But even that doesn't compare to buying a publisher. This is just absurdly huge. And
Xbox have definitely flexed their muscles this generation. Definitely.
The fabled war chest has been opened.
Yeah, I think Phil kicked down the doors to whoever's in charge at Microsoft. I was like, look, I'm sick of playing a nice guy.
People are clowning me on forums, Satya.
Yeah, it's time to bring out that checkbook and let's not mess around anymore. But yeah, there was talk about Microsoft, Xbox, or specifically the Xbox division buying some studios, big studios. They were talking about buying Bungie back, but they got rebuffed.
Floated.
And Warner Brothers division as well.
Yeah.
So they were looking for studios, but to buy a publisher. For
one like Bethesda as well, which has Skyrim is one of the top selling. I'm not sure if it's top 10, but it's somewhere near the top 10 most.
And you have Fallout as well with that. And now that they own Bethesda and they own Obsidian, so will we see another New Vegas
too? Yeah. It's actually possible. It could happen now.
It could happen now. Yeah. I mean, anything's possible. I mean, yeah. Wow, like you told me because you just said you sent me a message on WhatsApp going, "Have you seen what's happened to Bethesda?" I was like, "Oh my god, what, have they gone out of business or just something must be big?" And then I just went onto Twitter and I just kept Bethesda was trending with Xbox. I was like, "Well, wait a minute," and I saw it that they bought the Bethesda for ridiculous amounts of money.
I mean, it's such a crazy. I don't think I've really wrapped my head around it yet. It's such a crazy move. Like they've been buying, like most of the developers they've bought have been sort of smaller to mid-size, sort of like under 100 developers, and then up to 200 with like Playground and Obsidian. But most of them have been sort of like 200 or under, and now they've just like bought 8 studios in one fell swoop. One of the biggest third-party publishers in the industry, really. I mean, the games that Bethesda put out, like Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Doom, Dishonored, Wolfenstein, all the stuff we've gone over. Now that's all under Xbox, and as you said, people are upset, and honestly, they have a right to be upset. It's just, it's
Yeah,
nuts. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I guess the silver lining is that it happened not sort of as a generation starting, like before before anyone's cemented into an ecosystem. If it happened halfway through a generation when people are like, they have their machine, they have their library, they're kind of embedded in all that, and then suddenly a big publisher's taken away from them. But I mean, they're still going to be pissed, and rightfully so. I mean, as I said at the top, we were complaining about Final Fantasy being timed exclusive for a year, and to be clear, I'm still annoyed about that because I'm a big Final Fantasy fan and I don't want to miss out on it, and I don't really want to have to wait. But this, if you're a PlayStation only fan, this is way worse because you're likely going to lose access to all of those games forever. It's not like they're probably not going to come a year later. They're probably just not going to come.
Well, I've heard, like, I think someone wanted to. I think it was an article, not an article, maybe a quote on Twitter. I don't know if this is the most reliable, but they were going to assess each game on a case-by-case basis to see if they were going to make it exclusive to Xbox.
Yeah, Phil Spencer said that.
Phil said that. Yeah.
I think it was. I think he put up a blog post on Xbox Wire. I think it was in that he said that. But I mean, let's be real. The next Elder Scrolls is going to be a Xbox and PC exclusive. They'd be crazy not to do it, having just spent $7.5 billion. I mean, there's the argument that you could say, all right, we can still put it on everything, and then we kind of like give our user base the first class treatment with it just going straight into Game Pass, not having to pay anything extra for it. Or even they could even do that, launch into Game Pass and then launch like a year later on PlayStation or something. I think those things are possibilities, but I don't think anyone should be expecting that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I would. We like having Final Fantasy as a timed exclusive is pale in comparison to Xbox buying a Bethesda, one of the biggest games developers in the world.
Yeah, it is.
So I can understand people's annoyance. A lot of people were annoyed on Twitter, if we should just say. Some people are even dismissing it, going, "Well, I didn't like Bethesda anyway. I didn't like their games. They were on a downward slope." No, I think everyone was pretty hyped to hear about a new Elder Scrolls. I remember that every time there was an Xbox or a PS5, they were like, "I'm going to announce a new Elder Scrolls." So people they do care. Like, to say that you
they
all of a sudden you don't care about a game. Yeah.
Like I said, Skyrim was a huge deal. It was basically a cultural touchstone of the last decade. Like, how many times have you fucking heard, "I used to be an adventurer like you, but then I took an arrow to the knee"?
Yeah.
I mean, it was annoying as the cake is a lie for a good long while there.
Yeah, that got annoying really quickly.
But I mean, like the community around it, the modding scene around it, people putting like Randy Savage dragons into it, or like Thomas the Tank Engine and stuff. Skyrim was huge. It was bigger than pretty much any first party exclusive you can care to name. which you kind of expect it to be, being across multiple platforms. It's been on everything. It's even on Alexa. You can play it on Amazon Alexa. But it is a huge game. The modern Fallout games are also huge. A lot of people don't like them, but a lot more people love them. And then obviously the 2 modern Doom games have been huge hits. But yeah, a lot of their other stuff for the last few years has kind of flopped, despite being really good. Like Dishonored 2 and Death of the Outsider did not do well. Wolfenstein 2 and Wolfenstein Youngblood didn't do well. Youngblood, I'm kind of not surprised because it's a bit strange, but Wolfenstein 2 is amazing. Prey didn't do very well.
Well, Doom did pretty well, didn't it?
Yeah, Doom and Doom Eternal have both done really well, but pretty much everything else since Fallout 4 has kind of fallen over a bit, despite they've been critically acclaimed, but not been selling very well.
No one really played or talked about Dishonored 2, even though that was a really good game.
Such a good game. But the Evil Within 2 as
well
Evil from
Within
Tango
as well.
Gameworks. There was a fair bit of buzz around the first one because it was Shinji Mikami's new game. But Evil Within 2 kind of came out and disappeared without a trace. And the people that have played it love it, but not many people played it. So a lot of Bethesda's stuff has kind of come out and disappeared in the last few years. So there have been rumblings that like some of the board were looking to cash out. And Michael Pachter said 2 years ago, sooner or later Bethesda is going to be bought, and it's probably going to be between Amazon and Microsoft, and I think Microsoft will buy them. He said that 2 years ago, and now look where we are now.
Prophecy is fulfilled.
Michael Pachter isn't often right, but when he is, boy is he.
Boy does he get it right.
But it's such a huge move that nobody saw this coming. Like everyone was caught unawares by this. Like Jeff Grubb from VentureBeat, who's been sort of teasing a lot over the last few months, and like when doing the whole like Summer Games Fest thing, he's been teasing a lot of stuff over that. He was saying he's the one that kind of broke that Microsoft were looking at Bungie like a week or two ago. And then sort of around that, he said, I've heard Microsoft is about to spend a lot of money. But he said, I don't think it's an acquisition. I'm not sure what it is, but they're going to spend a lot of money. And then this came out, and that's a lot of money. So he came out on Twitter and he was like, yeah, so this is what I was talking about. I didn't know it was this, though. I just knew they were spending a lot. So even like the people that are known for getting stuff right had no idea this was coming. It just caught everyone completely off guard. And it's just like, as I say, I understand why a lot of people are pissed off about it. They have every right to be there. Those feelings are completely valid because they're now going to likely miss out on a lot of stuff they would have been looking forward to. But yeah, it's just, I understand people are pissed off, but from sort of a industry watcher's kind of perspective, it's so, I don't want to say entertaining because that sounds probably wrong, but it's so interesting, a move like this, because you can't even say it's not something we see often. We've never seen anything like this. It's just like being a studio here and there, but actually a publisher buying another publisher like this at this scale, I don't think has ever happened.
No, I don't think so. Can't think of anything. No, there's not. This is the biggest ever. So, I mean, it's great value now for Game Pass. I mean, everything will be coming out on Game Pass.
Yeah,
future
Game Pass
games
is going to be insane.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting all the Microsoft stuff anyway. You're getting third-party stuff. You're getting some games, like a lot of indie games going on day one, and some of them are really good. Bigger third-party AAA games go in sort of after a while. EA Play is coming to Game Pass towards the end of the year, which is going to sort of puff it up a bit more. And now everything Bethesda do is going to come to it as well. And now there's rumours that there's going to be some Sega Game Pass deal maybe announced at TGS in a couple of days, or tomorrow by the time this goes out.
I saw that, yeah. People thinking that Microsoft is going to buy Sega. I think they kind of blew their budget now. I don't think they're going to be buying Sega. They'll make a deal with them.
Yeah, people have been saying like Microsoft and Sega would be a good partnership for a while, and there's been a rumor that they're going to partner for Game Pass, and I think some people are taking that and then looking at yesterday and going, maybe they'll buy them. And after yesterday, guess all bets are off. I don't think that'll happen, but all bets are off, I think, because
Can you
this
imagine that? My God.
yeah, this deal has apparently been in the works for a while.
Mhm.
So Microsoft were looking at this at the same time as they were like evaluating Warner Brothers. So I mean, were they looking at both and thinking, well, we'll pick one, or were they looking at both and thinking, it'd be nice if we get both? Because if they were looking to get both, that means they're not done, which is kind of a terrifying
I
prospect.
do remember Phil Spencer did say that they weren't through buying studios, but I never in a million years would have thought they would have bought Bethesda. And when
They're
you said we're still looking to acquire a few more studios, a couple of more studios, I was thinking, some small up and coming studio. Maybe if it would have been good if they got Bungie, but the money they were asking for was a bit much. But to buy Bethesda is
it's mad. Yeah. I
it's
mean,
madness.
what was it Bungie were asking for? Was it 4 billion or something, or was that? Am I confusing that with the Warner Brothers? Maybe it was 2 billion Bungie were
I
asking
think
for.
it
The
was
rumor.
in the
It was in the
billions.
billions, yeah.
Yeah,
So it kind of
nowhere
feels
near
like
as
Microsoft have gone, you know what, screw you, all of
yeah
Bethesda for 7.5.
yeah.
It's mad. It's absolutely mad. But
Absolute madness. It is. I do feel bad for the. I mean, Xbox seems to have a good relationship with Nintendo. They're
mm,
sort of porting some of their games to the Switch. So will they port some of the new IP from the new games from Bethesda?
I mean, I
Is that
guess
going
it's
to
possible.
yeah? Because they have what did they port over? They was it
Both of the
Cuphead
Ori
and
games,
Ori and Super
Minecraft
Lucky's Tale.
Dungeons. Well, that's not
Yeah.
really their game, but
Well, right.
they had a time deal on that originally, so don't think they have any. Don't think they have any ownership over that. But same with Cuphead, they just had a time deal on that, and then they were just like, yeah, you can put it wherever you want. But the Ori game's a first party. The second Ori game just shadow dropped like a couple of days ago out of nowhere. Wasn't even announced. It just appeared. Minecraft and Minecraft Dungeons are on there. So Minecraft and Minecraft Dungeons are also on PS4. So there's possibly an argument for maybe they'll keep the bigger stuff multi-platform as they did with Minecraft. But I mean, Minecraft is bigger than it's like orders of magnitude bigger than Skyrim. So I don't know. With Minecraft, it's kind of it has to be everywhere to be such a big deal. I mean, it's basically this generation's Lego, but I'm not sure they'll look at like Elder Scrolls 6 in the same way. So,
Uh-huh.
as I said earlier, I would caution people not to expect anything from Bethesda to wind up on a competitor's console in the future. And if it comes over, it comes over.
Can
You're
I?
great. You can be happy about it.
Um,
You can be excited then.
I did. I do know that before this takeover, PlayStation had a exclusive deal with two games from Bethesda, which was
Yeah.
Deathloop and what was the other one?
Tokyo Ghostwire from Tango Games.
Yeah, and I heard that Xbox will honor their exclusivity deal, which
Yeah.
is coming out on PlayStation first for I don't know for how long.
I think it's a
Maybe
year.
a year, but maybe Microsoft will say, "Well, we'll give you 6 months because we own this now." So,
It's
but
going to be such an odd. Like
mm,
Microsoft publishing a game on other platforms isn't that odd at this point because Minecraft is there on both of them, and obviously the Ori game's on Switch. But Microsoft publishing a first-party game on PS5 as a timed exclusive is just such a weird narrative. It's just such a strange sentence to say. But yeah, I mean the ink on those deals was dry before this takeover happened, so nothing to be done about it other than probably like renege on the contract and have to pay a fine and get a lot of ill will, even more than they're going to get anyway. So it's best to just let that ride out, I guess.
Well, even before like they acquired all those other studios, before they acquired Bethesda, people kept saying that they don't have any games, even though they own. But now they can't say that because now they have. They've got the most first-party studios now, haven't they?
They're at 23 now.
Mm-hmm.
23.
Yeah.
I mean, two of the Bethesda ones, one of them is like, I think they've only got like 50 people there. They're the remnants of Human Head Studios, the team that made the original Prey back on the 360. And then Human Head went on to make The Quiet Man for Square Enix. And then I think they closed down. I think some of them, like the remnant of them, founded Roundhouse, I think they're called, under Bethesda. And then the other one, Alpha Dog Studios, is a mobile studio with, I think they're like 30 people. So those two are very small. And obviously we don't know what they're going to do. But yeah, I mean, the other ones are big studios, like, Bethesda Game Studios, id Software, Machine Games, Arcane, Tango Gameworks. I'm forgetting one. Completely blanked on who the other one is, but it was 8 studios in total. And yeah, now they're at 23 internal studios. And again, one of those is global publishing. So they work with like independent third-party developers to make games like Tell Me Why, which came out recently from Don't Nod. That was a global publishing thing.
Which
so they don't.
Which I'm currently doing Let's Play of.
Which you are, yes. Yeah. Go and watch that. And but yeah, like even when they were at 15 studios, people like Xbox has no games. They've just released like 6 games in the last like couple of months as well. People are like, oh, no games. Like Minecraft Dungeons came out, Wasteland 3 came out, Tell Me Why came out. What else came out? A few other things that are completely slipped my mind at the moment. But they've put out like 5 or 6 games in the last couple of months. And people were like, no, they have no games. These 15 studios are obviously just going to be working on Excel. And now they've got 23. Yeah. It's mad. How long are the E3 conferences going to be now? 5 hours long?
They'll be fairly long, yeah.
We're getting on for 2 hours as it is.
Yeah. But yeah, so wrapping it up. Good thing for Xbox, bad for the consumer, for the general consumer.
Obviously, a big deal for Xbox, and I think as a Game Pass subscriber, good thing for Game Pass subscribers because now you've got even more games going into that for the cost of your sub. In terms of the industry consolidation, possibly not a good thing because like it's gonna be interesting to see if it kind of leads to an arms race. Like honestly, I thought Google might come and buy Bethesda at some point because if they're actually serious about Stadia, they could become a force in the industry just by buying a third-party publisher outright. And I thought Bethesda, because like, as I say, certain people have been saying that the board were looking to cash out for the last couple of years anyway. So I thought it was on the cards that maybe like Amazon or Google or someone coming in trying to make their way into the games industry would buy them to sort of like announce themselves on the grand stage. So hopefully it doesn't lead to like a big arms race between everyone trying to pick up every developer they can. So possibly not a good thing in that sense. Maybe a good thing for studios like Arcane, who are making really good games but that weren't selling, and obviously having to sort of change things. Like Deathloop looks really cool. It looks very Dishonored inspired, but it's got like a online, like it's kind of got like Dark Souls online mode with like invasions and stuff like that, and it's a bit of sort of, I don't know, sounds a little bit games as a servicey, which maybe isn't quite what they want to be doing. So if this allows them to go back to making stuff like Dishonored, probably a good thing. And same with like machine games, if they're able to continue making quality single player first person shooters like the Wolfenstein games without having to turn it into some weird co-op Destiny clone like they did with Youngblood to try and make more cash, probably a good thing. So yeah, a bit of a mixed bag, I think. Good for some people, bad for others. And
Right.
as I say, I can fully understand PlayStation fans being very angry, and I think they have a right to be.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I think that's all. I mean, that's all our thoughts on it. So, yeah, let us know in the comments down below how you feel about it. If you're happy with the acquisition, if you're unhappy, let us know.
Yeah. Leave a
Yeah.
comment below,
So,
and we'll see you on the next one.